Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope you didn't hear me cough just before I came on. I had to clear my throat. How is everyone tonight? Boy, I tell you, I didn't think it would be much of a deal to pay attention to those debates, but I reviewed some clips and saw some comments by people, and it's just a riot. And you start seeing how things are coming together. I'm not just going to talk about the debates. I mean, but boy, there's a lot of things that got put out, and I guess you say after show interview with Vivek. A lot of stuff came out that left the reporter. It might have been Dana Bash. I'm not sure. It was CNN, that's for sure. But anyway, how's my signal coming through, folks? Let me know if it's coming through good. I'm kind of trying something new here, and hopefully it'll give a good steady sound. So, and if not, I'll figure something out. But anyway, let me see what's going on here. How you doing, Doc? Nice to see you. Damon, nice to see you. Yeah, Doc said hit the like button. That's right, folks. Hi, Marla. There's a cup of coffee. Susie, how you doing? Lone Wolf, nice to see you. B-Dog, Andrew, Kickenberg. All right, everybody's rolling in. Andrew said 5x5 in Oz. Is that anywhere near parts unknown? I don't know. Ian says he watched the debate, had his moments. Well, there was a one where Vivek just unloaded. He called them a bunch of bootlickers. I said bootlickers, so I went ahead and put that in my title. And he said, "Yeah, you're licking Donald Trump's boots when you wanted his endorsement, and then when he needs your help," basically was the message. It's not exact words, but he said, "Y'all are doing Monday morning quarterbacking and criticizing," and he called him out. I think the only one that didn't get totally chewed up and spit out was DeSantis. He just got a few knots on his head, but Nikki Haley, he made a mockery of her, and he told Chris Christie, go get something to eat, go have a nice meal, and get the HEL out of the race. Hi, Flannel Cheese, how you doing? Let's see. Fancy Oak, how you doing? Doug says loud and clear. Kicking birds flexing the muscle. That's good. Hi, Debbie. Yeah, he unloaded Debbie. Boy, let me see. I made a thumbnail. Just give you guys a few laughs. But afterwards, he had an interview with CNN. They were saying, "Oh, well, your accusations about J and then 6, I got to be careful because they put a warning on my last video." And the new, I checked, and I'm supposedly clear of one of my, so I'm down. I can, be let my hair down a little bit. So anyway, she was saying, that's all been debunked. And he said, "Listen, I've been there. And he talks about the clubs he used to belong to and which side of the fence he used to be on." And he said, "My eyes started getting opened up when we all found out the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping was phony. It was nothing but a setup. And all those guys got off." He said, I wouldn't have believed that either if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. And he said, "Now I'm starting to see what's coming out in that footage." And what could she say? Kickenberg said Vivek is controlled. Vivek was a plant. He was a very young plant. Either that or he got recruited away. by the white hats at a young age, and he stayed implanted in the dirty ones. He knows their modus operandi. Hi, Pappy Two Bears. How you doing? Hi, Ronald. Hunter indicted is part of a cover-up to hide from testifying. Well, when did that news come out that he got indicted, Ronald? Because I've been working on my notes here and what I'm going to talk about, because he's been subpoenaed, but I don't believe a formal indictment. That timing would not work out for a formal indictment. Hi, Alan. How you doing? Gary's here. Ha ha. Good. All right. So are you talking about he's subpoenaed or indicted? So because let's see, on Fox News they had Jonathan Turley. That's his name, isn't it? Hi, Wanda. Nice to see you. Let me see. If I drop off, I will come right back, as you all know. But Fox News had a thing they put up the other night. Several Hunter Biden personalities might testify, before Congress. Here are the possibilities. So then they put out, it's Jonathan Turley. Then they put out all of Hunter's on Vlad show. Yeah, well, he hadn't been indicted. I mean, you might have. Maybe they were talking about the subpoena. He's being forced to testify. Hunter the genius, Hunter the international businessman, Hunter the drug addict, or Hunter the hunted. That's the choices that Jonathan Turley put out. Ronald said 7 counts. Well, they dropped that. I must have dropped that within the last hour. Well, yeah, now it makes sense. Now he can't testify, right? Is a part of a cover-up to hide from testifying. That's exactly right, Ronald. Well, those crafty little characters. Yeah, they can tie that up for years now. So, well, they were resisting that deposition in a skiff. That's where they would have done that, where no electronic eavesdropping, none of that kind of stuff. It was a serious attempt to get at some serious issues, and he wanted to testify publicly, and they would not let him do it. He had to go in the skiff, talk about brass tacks. I mean, matters of national security and some things I discussed over on Nikki's program, such as the attempted attempts on many people's lives. One being our man, Mr. T. So let's see what I'm missing here. Yeah, he's indicted as part of hide from testifying. So let's see. Mr. T does play a long game. Let's see. Yeah, he's got. Yeah, they're gonna try to tie that tax evasion. David says 9 counts of tax evasion. Well, I don't know, Wanda, if he can't testify or not. Hunter, the world-renowned artist. That's right. They left that off. Well, I think the one they left off is Hunter, the informant. Of course, they wouldn't put that up there, but I believe that's what he is. I think he set up Joe and his brother James to meet up with Tony Bobulinski, and Tony Bobulinski has the highest clearance you can get. He works for military intelligence. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, CJ. 1975. That's what I was saying about an hour ago. Vivek, as I'll tell you where Vivek would be good. He wouldn't be a good VP because he's got to be more mature, got a little more seasoning to do, but he wouldn't make a dynamite press secretary. I mean, he would tear them up every day. Can you imagine some reporter like what's that one who used to give Trump a hard time all the time? Acosta, Jim Acosta, or any of those weasels trying to give Vivek a hard time? Hi, Sherry. Hi, Annette. Yeah, there's a lot of laptops wandering around. Miss Bendersue, how you doing? Yeah, Vivek would make a great press secretary. And we're starting to see, I was on another program watching the town hall with Mr. T, where he said, we all heard him say, yeah, I'm not going to be a dictator except on day one. So that's going to be a big day is day one, but big days are happening right now. But on one of his earlier speeches, he said he was going to be signing executive orders while he's going up the steps to get sworn in. He said he might set up a table right there, going up the steps and be signing stuff. So yeah, he's letting us know they've already got stuff put together. They've already got stuff laid out. We're restructuring. So big time restructuring. Let's see, you got Bill Burr told Jimmy Kimmel, yeah, they made Trump a martyr. Yep, and there's no way out of it. Well, see what's coming up on the big thing that I think is where they're gonna either throw their hands up and keep trying in the other court cases, or they're going to push it to the limit with this Engoron or whatever his name is. Now, he got shamed today. I mean, Trump had the expert of experts, is the way he described it, on real estate and accounting. And in their testimony, they were unequivocal that there was no problems with the accounting methods, no problems with the real estate evaluations, and expressed their professional opinions that what was going on was highly improper. And I if I get to it in my studio, I can give you the exact words. But very few times a court gets pretty much told they're either crooked or stupid in such a nice way. So what are they going to do? Are they going to give up with that? Or when Trump goes to testify, if I'm right, he's going to testify Monday. Okay. So what are we looking at? 4 or 5 days? And is Trump going to push the gag order? I mean, it's a deprivation of rights, however you look at it. This whole exercise. And like he said, I should be campaigning in Iowa. They're taking up his precious time and that of his children and menacing them. And hey, if you make somebody be somewhere at a certain time under threat of arrest and you're wrong, you're off base. Hey, that's deprivation of rights under the color of law. That's a very serious offense. So this judge, is he knowingly depriving them of their rights? Is he knowingly stepping over the boundary just to be malicious or arbitrary and capricious? That's the thing. And that's why these communications between him and his dear heart clerk are so important, and whatever communications she is having. I mean, at some point, some of these actions are going to break past the barrier of being civil offenses, and you have civil and military justice systems. Are we getting to the point of subversion, subverting the government processes? And the elections are part of the government processes. So we have to see. Laptop sale. Yeah, I see what you're trying to say there, Gary. It's a tarts. Put a B in there. Let's see. Vivek would be happy to be anywhere in Trump's. He's a kid. He's a kid. I mean, he's having his day in the sun, and that's what his job is. That doesn't automatically propel him to vice presidency. I mean, you might be right, but I don't think so. I don't think so. It's going to be somebody. Somebody, I think that's going to be give Trump a break from being the leg breaker, where Trump can be a more of a statesman. All right, he's going to be taking care of world affairs, and this business of slapping around communists locally and deporting creepos. I think he's going to leave that up to some grizzled, old, retired soldier general who's been wanting to clean up the government for a long time. And, you know, we're being told, what I was going to say about where I was watching on somebody else's channel. I was watching the town hall, and somebody popped in and said, I hope he doesn't say the same old stuff like he always does. And then they put a pukey face next to it. And I thought, you know, I didn't go on the chats. I didn't say nothing. But boy, that makes me mad, because Trump puts out a little something every time he goes up. And, you know, it's just frustrating. But we know that Mike Davis is going to be, they're showing us the administration, how it's shaping up. Mike Davis is going to be the attorney general for Donald Trump. And Donald Trump always reposts his stuff. Kash Patel, he was on with Steve Bannon, and he put it out there. He's going to be the director of the CIA, okay? And he said what he was going to do. Going to be cleaning out communists, okay? And he said some of it will be civil penalties, some of it will be criminal. But there are definitely many people who are involved in the government that have broken the law and will pay the price. And Trump said on Hannity, among other things, if people would pay attention and not sit there with their mouth hanging open, and at the end of the show say, well, he didn't say anything new. Oh, he didn't? He said that Joe Biden was surrounded by evil, corrupt communists. Vicious and evil and corrupt communists. You put that together with what Kash Patel says and what Mike Davis says, yeah, there's going to be retribution. Because I'll tell you something else. Being president is a duty, okay? It is, you're charged with completing tasks, doing tasks, the executive branch. You're charged with upholding the law. And part of upholding the law is meting out punishment. Retribution is not a choice, it's a duty. Okay? If anyone who takes that oath and swears to uphold the Constitution and enforce the laws of the United States, they have to, as part of their duty, include the dispensation of justice and punishments, okay? Prescribed punishment. And the removal of people who refuse to do the same in the other branches of government. He's the chief law enforcement officer. And hey, that's where they got Biden at the very on the very least. One of the things they've got him on is his refusal to enforce our borders. So I'm just looking at the chats here. Hi, Angel. How you doing? Life under gas. How you doing? Peppermints. Well, that's right. And the prosecutors aren't they're the Sorosio prosecutors, and they're all getting exposed. Hi, Mary. Nice to see you. Nikki was not feeling well. So you all, if she pops in, you'll know she's a little under the weather, but she might be getting her rest. She did say she got near a bunch of libs when she went to Sam's Club. Somebody shedded on her, probably. You remember what Silk said about shedding. She thinks that's what happened to her sister, Diamond. That's right, Mary. Okay, Gary said there's not going to be any 2024. Well, what was his name? The Colonel. I've got it in my studio. Is it McGregor? Is that his last name? He came out and said that again about the 2024 election. He said it's too far gone, and we're not going to make it there. That's why Iowa's so important. I mean, if Trump has a huge blowout, hi, Sissy, how you doing? And there's much more of these revelations that are just smacking CNN viewers in the face, like Vivek talking about Gretchen Whitmer FBI plot, kidnapping plot, talking about the J6 plot, calling all the others bootlickers, and might as well say backstabbers. Boy, I tell you, that is some reality that people don't want to be bored, and CNN is getting to the point now that people are, well, they're crying wolf with this. Walls are closing in on Donald Trump. Walls are closing in on Donald Trump. Now it's more like, hey, what is this business about plants in the crowd? Fibby operatives, stuff like that. People are going to want to find out. Oh, really, Wanda? Well, you got to use a 4 in that word, Wanda. Come on now. V4X ED. Nikki's not here to Wanda, I love you, but McGregor, yes. kick a bird's head. I gotta remove that because you use the VAX word, so it's 3 minutes. You're not going to be able to comment. I'll make sure I do it right. That's the only way. I can't leave that up. V4XED. Okay. So, oh my goodness. I know you can't delete it. I removed it. So they have a button where I can just remove it. But it's the 3 minute timeout. Hi, Tennessee. How you doing? But, really, folks, we've been only doing this for 2 years. And I just got restored from my one strike. And I mean, the night anyway, it's okay. We'll figure it out. So, hi, Angela. Let's see. I'm seeing Bubble was here. So, anyway, and the other thing that frustrated me was people were talking about Mike Johnson. And maybe a lot of you folks feel this way too, but you shouldn't. Saying, oh, well, Mike Johnson is part of the deep state because he's going to blur people's faces. And what am I doing here? Okay, so that must mean Mike Johnson's no good. Don't think that way, folks. Let me tell you why. Because if you think about it, they've let a lot of footage out that nobody's faces were blurred. A lot of really creative and sharp people have put together. They're funny to watch, but they show the actors and they show the crooked Capitol Hill police. They show everything. Nobody's face is blocked. That took a lot of work to be able to go through those videos and release those videos so people could do that kind of work. But what he's talking about, if you think about it, when people go to something like that, you can't rely on average citizens being able to catch everything on video. In other words, if you're doing a counter operation, you have to make sure you've got operatives in that crowd who will document with video the bad stuff going on. We were told by General McInerney that there were special forces operating in the Capitol and on the Capitol grounds. Those are the people that one of the groups of people that Mike Johnson wants to blur out. And when he said he does not want people being harassed, he's talking about black hats harassing white hats, okay? You can bet that there were a large number, and I said it way in the past, special operators doesn't mean a special ops force, doesn't mean they're 6'7" with full rattle gear on and pulling some Tom Clancy stunts and grenades on their hips. No, specialized areas, and that includes being undercover, all right. And you may have had, I know they had they had military operators in some of those antiphysal cells, okay? Infiltrated them. And you have to do that. You have to get people out there with specific duty of documenting on video, on the ground, identifying and videoing the perpetrators of this insurrection, because there was an insurrection. Okay? So if you look at Mike Johnson from that perspective, no, like a Tom Clancy character, no doubty. Let's see. Ha ha ha, Miss Bender Sue. Yeah, Tom Clancy, special ops guys are, SEAL Team 6 and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully Wanda will be back after the 3 minutes. I'm seeing if she comes back. Now, if Nikki would have been able to make it, we could have she's got different buttons than I have. But anyway. So you see what I'm talking about, why they have to blur faces? Because I wish I would have got a copy of the video. It was on YouTube for a little while. Then they took it down, of the special ops guy that got Nancy's computer and stuffed it under their coat. And I know a lot of you saw that video of them heading down the steps. And they had their faces covered. But that somebody said, they're Antifa, they're Antifa. And they said, no, we're not. Oh, no doubty. Can I share the copium? What cope are you talking about? No. And hey, listen, you're welcome here, no doubty. Whatever side of the fence you're on. Give me an example of what you're talking about, copium, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it, whether it's copium or not. A lot of people, will Trump win 2024? A lot of people are saying that 2024, something's going to happen where it's going to be delayed or there won't be an election. Are people going to start feeling bad again, if you know what I'm talking about? Where is that? Let me see. I got a screenshot of what they were saying at the World Health Organization. Something about, it was a quote, something about, well, we couldn't get the whole world to participate in the V and then A and the last letter is X. Program. Climate change is too much of a confusing issue for them. There you are, Wanda. Hi. It's all right. It's all right, baby. I could take it out of there. It just gives you a 3-minute timeout. That's all, Wanda. You can do 3 minutes standing on your head. Ha ha ha. But anyway, so this lady at the World Health Organization said, well, we couldn't get everybody to participate in the V program, and climate change is too difficult for them to understand. Then she said, but the upcoming water crisis will get their attention. And she's talking about the world population. And that's the first I heard of there being a water crisis. Did you all hear that too? Let me see if I can find that article. I'll tell you her name. She was at some symposium for the, here we go. I got her name right here. World Economic Forum, quote, agenda contributor, Mariana Mazzucato. Mazzucato. Have you ever heard of that? Hi, Roy. That's right. Yeah, that's right. And let's see what her quote is here. Our attempt to senate the entire planet failed. Climate change is too abstract for people to understand, but the coming water crisis is something everyone can get on board with. Oh, no. We talking about watch the water? What water crisis? Yeah, Gary, I saw that when she said to one of her aides, don't say anything. That was right during Creepy Joe's inauguration. All right, Angela. I appreciate that. Where'd he go? No Daddy. I'm asking what's up with the copium. Where you at, No Daddy? So anyway, well, hey, I don't know, Wanda. It's scare tactics. I think it's scare tactics. And I was thinking the other day, I keep spelling it instead of saying it, but I'm going to call it scarism. Instead of a T, I'll put an SC. Scarism. That's what they're guilty of. But you know what I'm really talking about. The word that they won't let me use. What Hamas and all them do. No Daddy went outy. Oh, he's a bot. Hi, Lewis. Well, I tried to talk to him. You all my witness. I tried to reach across the aisle. No, he might be making a sandwich, come back. I don't know. Let's see. JG said, watch the water. Well, a lot of them had been saying that, but we saw that in the 17 posts to watch the water. And General Flynn gave a few. General Flynn put up a good meme. Did you all see it? I'll put it on my Truth Social page, but I can't put it up here. I don't think I can put his name on this site, but it is a iceberg, and on top of the iceberg is the Disney castle. Below the waterline is upside down view of a certain somebody's temple, and I don't mean the one next to your forehead. Not that temple next to your forehead. And Elon Musk commented, he said, interesting iceberg. So underneath the iceberg was a Jeffrey E. That's right, Doug. It's all about fear. That's a heck of a way to control people. Now, I want to tell you, though, I'm going to keep on going with this. We got Mike Davis for AG, we know. Kash Patel just came out and said, I'm going to be the next CIA director, and I'm going to clean house, and I'm going to prosecute people. He's talking about prosecuting people in the media. He's talking about prosecuting people in government that have broken the law. And as I said, meting out punishment is a duty and a responsibility. Okay, it's not optional. And General Flynn, we heard from Mr. T. He told him, you take care of yourself now, rest up and be ready. So Flynn's going to be in there somewhere. And we know, I'm saying Vivek would make a great press secretary. Somebody with as sharp and as fast as he is with the command of the facts, and the fact that he used to be presented as, and he used to rub elbows with liberals and the NWO crowd. He would make a great press secretary. He'll be ready for whatever they throw out at him. And he's had training on the farm. And for those people that don't know what I'm talking about, the farm is Langley. And Langley is C.I.A. They teach you about the psychological methods and information dissemination operations and propaganda and all that stuff. So they're going to turn one of their own weapons back at them. And, while I'm talking about like people that jump to say, well, Mike Johnson's going to blur faces, that means he's a deep stater. Well, I just explained to you why it's important to blur some of the faces, and the fact that they release so much footage without blurred faces that the coming videos that are going to be released are going to be hiding for their own safety. Not that they're going to be harassed or put in jail like the J6 people, but their own safety is going to be special operators involved. And the other one I want to talk about is Jenna Ellis. People say, oh, she flipped on Trump. Oh, she needs to pay back that $250,000. They forget that Jenna Ellis not only was criminally charged and mugshotted in Georgia, but she's been with Mr. T on many other court cases. She was with Mr. T when he sued Hillary Clinton and about 20 other people, John Podesta being one. And this Judge Middleton in Florida, look him up. He's the judge that drug out the Bush-Gore election with the hanging chads, and it had to be put a stop to by the Supreme Court, which steamrolled over Judge Middleton in a 9-0 vote. And Judge Middleton's never gotten over it. He is a deep state operative wearing robes, and he has fined Jenna Ellis and Mike Ellison and a lot of different Trump's attorneys millions of dollars in fines. And she's had her law license under attack, okay, by the so-called Bar Association. So she is defending herself from a myriad of things, not just Georgia. So it was very unfair, in my opinion, to be washing their hands of Jenna. And the fact of the matter, too, is I talked about it like benching a player. If you're a coach and you got a game going, you got a great linebacker, okay, and he's knocking the heck out of people, but he is getting tired, okay? You got to bench him. You got to pull him out of the game and let him rest a little bit, okay? Or he twisted an ankle. He has to walk it off for a little bit, come out in the fourth quarter, or, whatever. Sometimes you bench your players, okay? Sometimes you put them over where they think you're harmless, but they can really see the other side's chalkboard. They can find out a little bit what's going on. That may be the case with Casey Hutchinson. I don't know, but I know Jenna Ellis is with Mr. T, and she's taking a pause right now. Okay, she's taking all the fire she can stand, and she'll have her day back in the sun, believe me. So let me see. They don't want us to be happy. That's right, because they're miserable. Well, they want to be in control. Speaking of flooding, they're flooding. Israel is doing what I said, I don't know, almost a month ago. I said they were going to flood those tunnels out. I said they got the ocean, they got the sea right there. And like they said, river to the sea. You got a river on one side and the sea on the other side, and plenty of water. You can flush them right out. And sure enough, that's what they're doing. The cat, how you doing? Yeah, Jenna's a sleeper, and so is Sidney Powell. And I'll tell you one who's never sleeps is Rudy Giuliani. I got an article I got to read about him, but it's way down in my paperwork. He didn't show up to a court hearing, and the judge had a fit. But anyway, Israeli Defense Force floods Hamas tunnels in Gaza with seawater. And this has proven very effective. Israeli engineering units deployed pumps and stretched pipes from the Mediterranean to flood Hamas tunnels. Beneath Gaza Strip lies a vast network of underground tunnels that allow Hamas and other Palestinian groups to store weapons and ammunition. Let's see. Move quickly underground and launch surprise attacks. Move hostages and retreat without being detected. It is assumed the network consists of approximately 1,300 tunnels. Hi, Zaza. And their total length is various estimates about 400 to 500 kilometers. Destroying Hamas tunnels network in the Gaza Strip is one of the most important tasks of the Israeli army. So, gosh, they've had more hostages get released, but they're down to where they have to admit that. All right, Gary. Let me check the chat. All right. I see Gary said notification. Ha ha ha. Put 3 booms in here, Gary. Boom, boom, boom. Ha ha ha. Nikki's not here to give me booms. So you gotta do the booms, Gary. Cameraman does the booms too for me. Boom, boom, boom. So I heard they lightened up on the emoji limits. But I don't want to take too big of a chance. There, B-Dog put them in. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you, Gary, for supporting the channel. I've got a link in the description if anybody wants to help out. And I see Mary was in the chats earlier. She helped me out. Here, I got to add. This is who helped me out earlier in the week and last week. And let me see. I got to add on there. Somebody, they didn't put their name in. It just says someone. And I don't want to say the email address, but Mary is on top of this list, right, Mary? And I will put initials MD. Okay, MD, someone. And of course, Gary just helped out now. All right, I appreciate you all for helping me out. I've got a link in the description if anybody wants to help out with buy me a coffee. And MD, if you can't put your name in, just give me a little message and I can do just what Gary pointed out, which is check notifications and I can see little messages people give me. Let's see, Israeli army going to try expanding foam. Oh, that would be a mess for the boy. That stuff is sticky. It depends on what kind they use too, man. That stuff can be hard as a rock. And they were showing. I'm sure you all have seen it. They were showing some of these setups they have, and they had central air conditioning, with low ceilings, probably 7-foot ceilings or so. But I mean, they had showers, they had commodes, they had kitchens, and all the wiring is run right up to the hospital, which is the one they were showing. And everybody that is helping, like we want to give the Palestinian people help and donate money. Well, they're paying the hospital electric bills, and they're using that electricity to power their underground tunnels. It's a disgrace. And, I don't want to get morose about it, but I think there's only 20 women and children left. Only 20. And they don't want to come up with them. And I'm afraid it is because they can't, because they're not with us anymore. And the remaining 100 or so are men and soldiers. So it is still, I think, 117 or 18 in total, still in a very bad situation. That's right. Some of that stuff's hard as steel. Hi, Linda Marie. How are you? So anyway, Ukraine is over. Ukraine is over, and it's all over but the shouting. One of the channels that I get combat reports on hasn't posted anything significant about Ukraine except for some skirmishes. There you go, Gary. 3 booms. Ha ha ha. And no real. I mean, they're drafting people. They're conscripting people from 17 to 70. Men and women. And you all saw the report. Then Tucker Carlson put it out, and that got reported, you might as well say, around the world. Let's see. I can't really say all of it the way Tucker Carlson said, but they're basically threatening the American people with being involved in ground operations. Tucker Carlson put it out in a tweet. He said, they're threatening to KI and then double L your children. So thank you, Gary. I'm a good man, Charlie Brown. I got that book somewhere from when I was a young'un. Back in the 60s, I got a bunch of Peanuts books somewhere. I got to find those things. I got a lot of stuff. I have got the original from the 1960s, every season and every show of Star Trek on beta. A box set from the 60s, if you could believe that. I'm doing good, Ivan. How are you doing? So what I do is I jump in and out to my studio where I have a little news clips and stuff that I can read. But anyway, they are threatening to put ground troops in, and Biden said, if Congress doesn't do something about the situation to help Ukraine out, he will, intimating that we would have boots on the ground. Ukraine. So we're going to see how that shakes out. Now, Sheriff Mark Lamb, is he in Arizona? Sheriff Mark Lamb. I'm reading something from Citizens Free Press, and if it's the same sheriff, I'm thinking about that in 2022, removed somebody out of Pinella County who was in charge of vote registration, pulled her right out of her office and replaced her. But anyway, if that's the same sheriff, he was the one that reported. Sheriff Mark Lamb reveals illegals are actually rewarded for breaking the law. They are receiving $5,000 gift cards. There we go with the gift cards again. A plane ticket to wherever they want to go and a cell phone after entering the country illegally. So here we're hearing about this gift card scam again. I guess it's a way they can launder money or pay their operatives and it not be traced, and they don't report it to the IRS. So I remember him as the Arizona sheriff that removed somebody that was playing around in Pinella County. And they're dumping a lot of illegals into this county. Let's see. B-Dog says Pinell County. Yeah. It's Pinell or Pinella County. Gary says it's time we hadn't got closer to God. It might be time to start looking at him. That's right. Well, hey, it is a time to choose. Like Mr. G said, a lot of people have a spiritual problem in this country. And I was watching, as is my wont, you guys know, I sometimes go on YouTube and I pay attention to some of these trials that are going on. And the one I was talking about was the Adelson family, and very wealthy people who just wanted to have their way, and they thought they were smarter than everybody else and more deserving, and that someone's life was not important to them, and they're going to all end up in jail. But one I started watching was this girl called herself Ezra, and I can't think of her last name. But anyway, if you get a chance to watch it, to me, it is a microcosm that shows you how this woke ideology has warped young people's minds. She was 19 years old. She took up with a 33-year-old, and her philosophy was binary, non-binary, she, him, all this stuff, and would switch back and forth, and totally unrooted as far as personality or spirituality, had terminated a pregnancy, if you know what I mean. This 33-year-old claimed he was a medic. But where was he being a medic? He was going over 2 weeks at a time to Cranio. So he's one of these hooray for Ukraine. I'm sure he's hooray for Palestine now. Uh, they all march to the same drum, and they obviously didn't respect their own flesh and blood because they terminated a life, their own. Anyway, so they end up in some kind of situation where she's messing around with one of his friends and then messing around with another one of his friends. There's no moral compass. There's no allegiance to the sanctity of life. They have no sense of self-dignity. Okay. Anyway, it ends up in a red room. She takes out one of the guys. Okay. And she's on trial, and she's going to spend the rest of her life in jail. She's going to spend the rest of her life in jail. And it's sad. It's sad. And I'm, 19, you're an adult. That's true. But groomed, okay, groomed by Satan's smoke, okay. And if people can't see that, can't realize it, if life's cheap at the very beginning, it's cheap in the middle, and cheap at the end. So anyway, when she was on trial, she had long, naturally curly hair. I will say she had beautiful head of hair. And she was dressed in a female role with a pink blouse, or she was very effeminate and proper looking during her trial. And then when they brought her in for sentencing, she looked like Opie. She got her hair cut real short, and I guess she's switching over. Just a loss of sanity in my mind. Total disconnect from the identity, your true identity. We're all different. And not an insult, it's true. We are like snowflakes. We're all different. And to accept those differences and do the best you have with what God gave you, instead of reaching out, trying to challenge his plan and disrespect his creation. And the wages of sin is death. So unfortunately, that person, the first name is Ezra. And if you type that in Utizzle, then she changed her name. I think it was Monica, which is a nice name. That's a pretty name. And she decided she wanted to be called Ezra. So if you guys want to see a little bit of how damaging this counterculture cult is, how damaging it is to the psyche. I don't think she even admitted to herself what she did to that young man. She 16 times, okay, with something sharp. I'll put it that way. And if she does admit that she did it, she doesn't have a bit of guilt, doesn't shed a single tear for him. But when you see the victim impact statements, and the only time you see her getting upset is when she starts realizing what's going to happen to her personally, her freedom being removed. No remorse for the loss of life. Single songwriter, how are you doing? So that's just a little something for somebody who was interested in that type of thing. It's very compelling. I've always found court cases to be very compelling. But anyway, court clip, I don't know if you got to see it. Chris Christie was spotted complaining to Megyn Kelly during a break in the debate because Vivek drops a hammer on Chris Christie. Walk yourself off that stage, enjoy a nice meal, and get the HELL out of this race. And then there's I'm gonna keep that. I might make a meme out of that. It's a look on Nikki Haley's face when Vivek asks her which are the provinces that we want to liberate in Ukraine, and he's talking about Donetsk and oh gosh, I've said them I don't know how many times when I was big on reporting on Ukraine. Anyway, but she didn't know. She had no idea, and she looked foolish. So I'm keeping that look on her face. I might make a meme out of it. Well, we got anybody in Canada in the house? Because there is a quick story about Conservative Member of Parliament Damien Kurek, Kurek, was removed from Parliament for refusing to apologize and retract a statement accusing Trudeau of being a liar. So they're removing MPs, the representatives of the people, for basically telling the truth. And that character that pulled the fire alarm, what did they do to him? They did a little something, slapped him on the wrist. They censured him or something. And of course, we all saw him pull the fire alarm. And whatever little slap on the wrist they did it to him today. I think they censured him. And but the other one, what's his name, the Republican, they expelled him just for finger pointing and didn't prove anything. Didn't give him a chance to defend himself, didn't have any hearings, nothing. So the news media is just going to let that dribble away. Oh, Mr. T put up a remembering Pearl Harbor today. I meant to start off the program with that. Golly, I'm an ingrate. I didn't even think about that. Shame on me, but I have my studio remembering Pearl Harbor. Mr. T put up a meme of him and Melania facing a wall with the victims' names and Mr. T saluting. And, remember Pearl Harbor, folks. I should have brought that up sooner, but I'll put something on my community page about that. DJT's attorney has a huge smile on his face leaving the courtroom. And Trump came out in the hallway and said, the attorney general is a fraud. She committed fraud. That is strong language, folks. FRAUD. And we know who said they were going to take care of that. Now, somebody mentioned in the last program, a fact of the matter was that Venezuela was mobilizing their troops. And we'll get into this in another live stream, but I will give you all an update on that. Venezuela has invaded Western Guyana. They have a territory there that's been disputed. It's called Guyana Escobia. It's between Venezuela and Guyana. And they discovered oil there. But as we know from Mr. T, the oil from Venezuela is like tar. It's not like the light, sweet crude that we're capable of getting in other places. But anyway, and there are American companies that are invested in this land. So they've militarily invaded it, and just so happened the same day, guess what happens? 6 Guyanese armed forces officers are missing in a crashed helicopter. So that is going to bristle up into a mess, I think. We're down there in Argentina's stomping ground, so we got a new president down there who doesn't like taking any crap. So we'll see what the situation happens with that. But the Guyana Armed Forces stated that there's no evidence yet to indicate any role for Venezuela in the helicopter crashing. They've not yet entered the territory, the new region, but they have declared that they have annexed it and they have mobilized their troops. And then you have the helicopter crash. Holy cow. Okay. It says here, Venezuelan troops have not yet entered territory of the new region. There's no full-scale general mobilization, but they have mobilized them to some degree. Military preparations are observed in the eastern regions of the country. And a special branch of the oil company, the National Oil Company, has also been created specifically for that territory. So it's going to either Guyana is going to lay down and let Venezuela take over the whole area, and it's a large area. It's twice the size of Guyana, and or there's going to be some fireworks going off, folks. So we'll see. And I'm going. I got so much sitting here written down, but anyway, we got to remember that if it wasn't for the situation with Trump and the White House, Trump is a cog in this machine, but he's a big cog now. He's a big cog, but still, he's not. It is not all about Trump. But we've got this Javier in Argentina. Okay, we've got in Peru. I did I reported about that president of Peru who was removed and arrested by the Supreme Court. He was a communist, part of a color revolution in Peru. He was forcibly removed by the army. And the new president of Peru announced that constitutional amendment protecting the rights of conceived human beings. Okay? They have rights under the Constitution. They are human life. So we've made great strides in Argentina, in Peru. We've got the Dutch Prime Minister. We got Le Pen in France. We got Hungary. The Prime Minister of Slovakia was talking about the excessive loss of life, I'll put it that way, from the thing you get in the shoulder. And there's all kinds of stories, news stories published internationally, and people inside the government of New Zealand speaking out about possible criminal implications for how they handled the situation with the V and then AX, right? So there's a lot of stuff boiling, and it's only going to intensify. And we got Bolsonaro's waiting in the wings there in Brazil. We don't know what's going to happen there. And, if it wasn't for this great, and then the other word is awakening, half these people that we're seeing stepping on the international stage right now, we would have never heard of. They would have been gone in plane crashes. And we would never known of their existence. Most of us would not have ever known what happened to the president of Haiti, right? If it wasn't for Mr. T. The president of Haiti was assassinated, and how he was tied in with resisting and exposing what was happening with the Clinton Foundation. So this stuff is going to start to multiply. And we're going to have more and more people put into positions of power and running these governments, and it's going to overwhelm this deep state, and that's what we want. Let's see. Smells like a proxy war. DJT said we don't need their tar. That's right. It is foul stuff. Debbie talking about Christopher Wray. I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if Mike Davis walks into the AG's office and Merrick Garland has got a big file with a bow tie, a ribbon and bow on it. And Merrick Garland, I think he is working for the White Hats. I could be wrong, but I think when Mike Davis walks in, Merrick Garland will have everything sewn up for him in a nice little package. Here you go. Here, I've watched them all. I've had access to everything. I've identified every one of them. Here they are. And when Kash Patel steps into to be the CIA chief, that Christopher Wray has the same kind of package with a bow on it. Here you go, Kash Patel. Here's all of them right here. And here's their files, and here's everything they tried to make me do. Wouldn't that be something? Thank you, Gary. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, always, look at what I was saying about Merrick Garland. He's not been in the picture except when Obama public statements. He was Assistant Attorney General under Janet Reno. He prosecuted Timothy McVeigh for bombing the Alfred Murray Federal Building. Other than that, you have heard nothing from Merrick Garland. He's got a normal wife. He has not made a bunch of articles and smears publicly. He got put in the position of Attorney General. His actions have been very measured. And some people bring up the fact that his son-in-law is crooked as all get out, and this and that. But how many family members do we have? I mean, I've got very conservative friends, and their children are wearing the thing on their face and voting for Biden, or, some of them even buying into the identity situation, if you know what I mean, the trans identifying situation. But the parents are solid conservatives. You can't control, your children are separate entities. Just ask Adam and Eve. You can't control what they do. So I think you look at Christopher Wray and Merrick Garland, and remember what the 17th letter told us. We have patriots in key positions. Okay? And of course, they have to act like they're playing the game. They can't expose themselves. MS Motorsports, you lost round 5. Yeah, Venezuela's joining BRICS. Okay, well, BRICS is going to be gold back or precious metal back currency. Unfortunately, that's right, Jerry Lee. Well, it really took off when Michelle took over and started getting into the teachers' unions and the school system under the guise of handling school lunches. But what they really did, if you think about it, that's when they instituted the transgenderism in the schools, was through and via Michelle Obama. Hi, Doug. How are you? So anyway, all right, folks. Well, Nikki's not feeling well, Doug. Hopefully she'll feel better tomorrow. She went down to Sam's Club, and there were a bunch of delusional people with their something all around their noses and their mouths, and they shed, and I think she got shedded on. But we're hoping she'll bounce right back. Jerry Lee said we'll join BRICS somewhat. Well, if I know Trump, they'll have BRICS, and that's fine with Trump. That's what he wants. But he'll start a daggone cinder block. He'll do something with the currency. I played that video of Nixon when that's all it took was him sitting behind his desk saying, gold is no longer backing our money. We're going to oil, the petrodollar. Thank you all. Have a great night. He did it just that quick. And I'll play it for you all again someday. Trump can do the same thing in reverse. That's good, MS. You got silver. That's right. It's tangible. What you can see, taste, and touch. It's tangible, not digital. That is just a recipe for control and debt slavery. And somebody taking your wealth with a push of a button and knowing everything about your life like they don't know enough already. Well, let me see what else is on this. From overseas. Well, we're going to get into Germany is pulling out of We'll talk more about some of the international stuff on my next broadcast, but I want to thank Gary for helping sponsor the channel tonight. And I want to thank everybody else. That Mary, I haven't seen Mary, but except earlier. But thank you, Mary, for helping out the other night. And MD, all right, that's a initial, so that's what I have to use. I appreciate that. And Norm and everybody that have put the banners up before, and I have a buy me a coffee link in the description. I appreciate it all, you all folks. And let me see. I wanted to, you have Mr. T calling what's her face, Letitia James, a fraud, that she committed fraud. I want to finish up with this Kash Patel, and they are nervous about this retribution talk, big time. That's all these news agencies are talking about. Trump used that term over a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, and he hadn't used it very much since. But all of a sudden, it's in their brains. But Kash Patel said Trump's next CIA director, he will lead patriots appointed by Trump to prosecute and jail people in government and the media. He's calling them outright conspirators, because as this thing gels out and fleshes itself out, you can see that it is a conspiracy to libel, discredit not only Trump, but all of his supporters, and in a manner that will influence an American election. Now, if they're doing that under foreign direction, they're in big trouble. But here's a quote from Kash. "We will find the conspirators in government and the media. Yes, we are going to come after the people in the media." So one of the biggest loudmouths in the media against Trump, all of them are loudmouths, but one that's really nervous is Morning Joe. And if he's smart, he'll go ahead and confess whatever he did to his aide, whether it was a crime of passion, whether he was drunk or high on goofballs or whatever he did. And maybe, you'll get 50 years instead of life, or the chair. I don't know. Bill Barr instituted just before he left. Remember, everybody cracking on Bill Barr, but just before he left, he got it approved to use different methods of executing justice, the highest price you pay, namely the electric chair is the way, the gas chamber is the way, a firing squad is the way, using a rope is the way, and also lethal injection is the way. Whereas that was not the case. It was only the final one that I said. And there was a moratorium by the federal government on that. So, all right, folks. Well, Jerry, MK has been legalized since Smith month 2. Well, if it was by Obama's pen, that doesn't mean it's legal. It could be an unlawful order. Unlawful order. They are invalid. Thank you, Doug. Yeah, everybody hit the like button on the way out. And if you didn't like the program, just hit the thumbs down. Ha ha. You all have a great night. I'll probably be broadcasting tonight. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. And let's get together soon, right, folks? So, hey, the world is moving. It's moving. All ships in the same direction. Godfather 3. And keep your chins up. Remember, the best is yet to come. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.